So what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to talk to someone who we featured before on our podcast, The Barksdale Bubble, and he's actually a gentleman that knows a whole lot about weather. He is the state climatologist for the state of Louisiana, Mr. Jay Grimes. And Jay, we appreciate you joining us here this evening. The two of us have talked about some of this before in one of our podcasts, so let's talk about it right now. The drought monitor. I said it lags behind a little bit. Now, the reality of it is, what does all this mean for Louisiana when it comes to continuing these drought-like conditions, and what are you expecting?
All right, well, first off, you really hit the home run there, showing those rainfall totals way below normal over the last 30 days. And that is driving the drought monitor, not just for Northwest Louisiana, but for most of the state. In fact, southern portions of the state, believe it or not, are maybe even a little bit drier relative to normal for this time of year than you are. But the real issue here is, first off, we're probably not going to see hardly any rain for the next 10 days or more. And it could even go right into November before we see any significant rain. So what we're going to see is that drought monitor paint an uglier and uglier picture. Now, your point is good about it is a little bit behind, and we also kind of struggle with trying to evaluate what goes into the drought monitor. So there's much of your area in northwestern Louisiana that didn't qualify for drought, but was right on the cusp. And I think by the time we get to the drought monitor next week, which will come out next Thursday morning, you'll see a much more painted map. In other words, more drought in your backyards.
Would you say or not, in your professional opinion, because you have a long career dealing with weather down in South Louisiana, that this is not the time of the year we want this to happen, because we're already drying out. We're already getting, there's a time of the year where things die off. This is just going to speed up the process, unfortunately. And as you said, it looks like limited rain chances. I can't find anything for 14 plus days at least, but this is not at a good time for this to happen.
Well, it's never a good time to get too dry because there you go. That was exactly what I was going to say. The first thing we have to worry about is wildfires. And so you've already got 2 parishes up there that have declared burn bans. And these parishes kind of go like dominoes. Once a couple of them get in line, plus you've got the counties to your north and west that have already pulled the trigger as well. So I think between now and next week, you're going to see a number of other northwest, north central, and central Louisiana parishes start looking more seriously at burn bans. But we also got to remember that when it gets this dry, it gets hard on agriculture too, especially those folks that are looking at the potential for either a fall or a winter crop, say like winter wheat. Well, when the ground is this dry, you just can't put out the seed. But for people that weather is part of their business, this is not a good thing at all.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Jay. And we do appreciate you checking in with us here this evening. One thing's for sure, everybody can do their very best to try to prevent anything from happening. Unfortunately, accidents do. But Jay, appreciate it. I'll catch up with you real soon on another edition as well of the Barksdale Bubble.